Welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb podcast. I'm Be Real, aka Dr. Greenthumb, here with my co-host Dougie the Wolf, E-Zone, and our very special guest, one of our homeboys. I mean, we're all homeboys with this man as well as fans because we're all wrestling fans and shit like that. One of the most iconic wrestlers and shit, and represented the cannabis lane like no other, man. My man, Charles Wright, motherfucking Godfather, Papa Chango, whatever. You know, you've had many, like they say, you know, people reinvent themselves all the time. You've managed to always reinvent yourself and come up with something cool that like people never forget, man. I got to give you fucking props on that because everything that you did, you know, even from Kamala, everybody remembers all that shit.
Oh yeah, the brawl for all.
Wait, he called me Kamala and shit instead of Kama. First of all, I wasn't no goddamn Kamala.
Not Kamala. Sorry.
Hey, but I know what you mean. A lot of people make that mistake. I appreciate that, B, and shouting out to all you guys, man. It's been a minute since I seen you. But you know what? The coolest part about all that shit, bro, was when I was actually able to become the Godfather. And just before that, that's about the time I met B, man. And that was so cool to be the Godfather because I was just able to be myself and be high. And
how was that transition going from Papa Shango to Godfather? Because you were Papa Shango for a long ass time. And people
I did the Papa Shango. And then remember, I did the Kama. And then I was in the Nation of Domination when they made The Rock. Remember that?
Right.
And then I went through the whole Nation thing. And then my wife came up with the Godfather. And she's like, bro, you should just be yourself and be that high-ass motherfucker that you are and stop trying to be a voodoo man or this and that and just be yourself. So I went out there. And like I said, that's about the time I met B. And B, like I said this before, but I don't know if you remember or not, but we were calling my finish the Hoe Train. And then the Pimp Drop. And then B's like, bro, you should call it One Hitter Quitter. And I should have called it that because that would have been cool. The One Hitter Quitter. You remember that?
Yeah. Hey, but you know, like I remember, man, you know, whenever you came on, the place would go get lit for you because one, you had the hose, two, you know, you were the weed head up in there representing for all of us. So, and whenever you came to the ring, I mean, you came with a good vibe, and that was always infectious, I think, man. And I think that's why people loved the shit out of you, you know, when you became the Godfather.
You know, bro, the thing with it was real. That vibe was good because I was high as a motherfucker. You never see me on TV, believe me. That's like you being on stage not being high. I ain't never been on stage and not been high. That's why it was a good vibe, my brother, because I was out there just talking shit, being myself, having fun. And back then, bro, I think back then we used to involve the audience more, and the wrestlers were more family, and everything was the audience. Everybody do your catchphrases and part, and pimping ain't easy. You get on the whole train. And I don't think it's like that anymore because I don't really dig it too much. But it was just a good thing, man. And believe me, bro, I had the time of my life, man. You were there.
Would you say that was like the most enjoyable time in your career as far out of all the personas you had? Was that the most fun? Like, were you getting blazed up before the other stuff or just with the Godfather?
No. Dude, believe it or not, I didn't start smoking until I was 27 years old. I was going to the book as Papa Shango. That's the first time I started smoking. And a friend of me and B's named Big Worm, he got me to try smoking one time. And it just changed everything, man. It opened up my eyes, man. It made food better, it made workout better, it made me think more. It worked for me. So probably for the last 32, 33 years, I've been high. So he's been over here shooting stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean,
do you remember what you smoked the first time? Was it a blunt? Was it a joint? Like, what was it? A bong?
Freddie had a pipe, and back then I think it was Trainwreck or Steelhead back in LA. I don't know if y'all remember Steelhead. I think they even had something called Asshole. back in the day. But I don't know. I was like a skunky bud back then. But it was. I mean, I started off smoking the chronic. I didn't really fuck with the swag. I went right to smoking the chronic, and have been there ever since.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the story of how you like had that experience through our friend Worm and shit like that, and it just changed your whole thought process on smoking weed and how it benefited you and all that stuff, and it's great to see how I mean, you look at we were talking about this off the air, but you just had a birthday, right?
Yes. Just had a birthday, May 16th.
50. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, man.
59 years old. You do not look it, man. You do not look it.
Bro. This is a shoot. No bullshit, man. It's for the real. It's cannabis, man. I mean, like I said, at 27, I'm taking so much Vicodins, Percocets, Percodans, Halcyons. Yeah, I'm doing all type of shit, drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels a day. And then when I tried weed, man, it kind of slowly got me off all that shit. Will I have a shot now and then? Yeah. Will I have beer? Yeah. But I ain't out there turning it up, get drunk anymore. And I don't take any pills more than a Tylenol or a leaf. I don't take anything. It's mostly I get medicated through this. Let me ask you a question because you'll know the answer. You're more educated than me about this. Now, everybody says that the CBD is good and the smoked CBD, it's cool and you should get extra CBD. But if CBD is in weed, shouldn't you just smoke more weed?
Well, listen, we had Montel Williams on another show called Green Talk not long ago. And he's one of the most educated motherfuckers I ever met in terms of cannabis. And he, because he had to deal with multiple sclerosis. Then he had I believe he had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. And he was dealing with all these different things that was happening with him. And he said the way he dealt with it, a lot of people told him to use CBD, high levels of CBD, but what he was saying is you have to use the THC along with the CBD for the full benefit, for it to work, for it to do something, like what it did for him. He used an equal amount of both. You know what I mean? Like he knew he was going to get high, but he didn't mind that obviously because he smokes. But realistically, he said the full benefit was always that you took an equal amount of THC to the CBD. You don't take one without the other and expect it to have the full benefit of what you're trying to have it do for you. So, but for some, they got to build their tolerance up for that because, some people will be high as fuck.
So basically what you're saying is me and you are getting our fair share of CBD.
Yes, we are getting our CBD and we're getting our THC. We're getting all the essentials you might need to fortify vitamins and minerals.
Man, you remember my brother-in-law Jamie, don't you?
What up, Jamie?
What's up, Jamie?
He knows on
what up, bro?
How are you, man?
Good.
We're all good.
Yo, I wanted to ask you this in regards because I've been there with both of you guys, chilled in your garage while you're showing me your obviously a bunch of collections you got. You're swinging frisbees around, but you showed me this fucking bong and you told me a story that I want the listeners to know about. That you were doing this thing called honey hits with Be Real or something like that. There was like you had to cap it over. Explain that because I like dabbing and I know you love it too. So
B, you got this is going back a ways, B. But you guys did some type of cannabis, something or other, high time, some type of fucking show at the Thomas and Mack, and it was cannabis related. And I showed up and I came out and I introduced you guys. I introduced Cypress Hill, the band. And do you remember me bringing in a hookah coal, and I had this oily stuff, and I was trying to get everybody to smoke it, and you wouldn't smoke it, B. You're like, I ain't smoking that shit. You said it's like crack and shit. I'm like, B, come on. And I know y'all remember El Presidente, Mario, and nobody, and I'm not sure, B, you might have tried it or not, but all that was is at that point, I was making the oil right there, man. We were using VHO, and somebody taught me how to make it, and I was trying to get everybody to smoke it. But I brought it there. We used to light a hookah coal. It would get hot, and then we'd take a little bit of that oil through a straw or something, dab it on that hookah coal. And that's how we used to smoke it. Do you remember that? And nobody wanted to try it because you're like, we ain't smoking that shit.
I fucking scared everybody.
Motherfuckers was intimidated by that thing, right?
You guys you probably don't remember. You guys like, dude, that's fucking crack. I'm like, dude, it ain't no fucking crack, man.
What's crazy?
It's made out of weed.
What's crazy is that we've had so many fucking get high sessions together. A lot of people don't even fucking know that, but you know, we spent time getting majorly stoned together at times and shit.
Oh yeah. Hey, are you still at the Rainbow?
Yeah, at the Rainbow.
How many times have we been at the Rainbow getting high?
Too many.
Oh yeah, we made that shit Little Amsterdam.
Remember Lowry's?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Same thing.
Okay, so this
Lowry's, like the steak place.
Check
yes,
this.
We had more than steak
because you're the only one that wasn't there. I think Dougie was definitely there, and definitely Charles was there, and fucking Worm was there. I mean, look, so it was, I think my 32nd birthday, I believe.
Yep.
I'm 49 now, to give you perspective. It was my 32nd birthday, and wifey wanted to do something special, so she invited all the homies to Lowry's. We were going to do this dinner party at Lowry's right there, dead center, Beverly Hills, whoop-de-wop, right?
It works.
If we get in there, there must have been like 20, 25 bucks and shit. And we start lighting up in Lowry's. Like, no apologies. We just start lighting the fuck up, and it's lit in fucking Lowry's, Beverly Hills.
Great.
In the
restaurant?
In the restaurant.
Yep. And right where we're eating, everybody's just blowing. Everybody's got 5 or 6 bones going, man. Everybody's just smoking inside the restaurant.
I was about to hide under the table.
And it's at no point during that, no waiter went up. Excuse me, sir. You're gonna have to put that out. This is illegal.
No,
I don't remember that.
No.
I don't know why they let us. But
we were the biggest party in there, man. They weren't fucking with that check.
We spent a lot of money that night.
Yeah.
I don't remember them saying anything to us.
No,
for them.
They didn't say shit. They let us do us.
Yeah.
And then when we were leaving, the Beverly Hills Police Department, officers were outside making sure that we left orderly.
Yeah.
I remember that.
They didn't even harass us. They didn't do anything.
They didn't even say shit.
Hey, and listen, the guy who rolled out with the most ghetto, flossiest car on 20-inch rims was a little old white man. Square cars and shit. And it was the little old white man with the flossy fucking ride.
You're right, man.
Crazy.
Oh man, those are some good old times, man. You watch wrestling anymore?
It's hard, man. It's hard because what kind of what you alluded to, the stories are just kind of over top there's a disconnect there of some sort, man. I think, to be honest, you were wrestling in one of the dopest eras of wrestling, where people stood out. There was a distinction amongst guys, and you guys were doing new and cutting edge and fresh shit. And even though the storylines were, dramatic and shit like that, they weren't so over the fucking top like this new shit is.
They were different. Every single one of them was different.
Well, let me say this. The guys that are doing it now are fucking talented. They're fucking dope. They're taking the knocks and the bumps and all that shit the same way as the generations before them. It's just, I think the storylines and the presentation and just some of the personalities, I don't know. They don't.
Yeah.
Hey, man, unfortunately, times change and people change. And you probably couldn't do half that shit we were doing back then.
Oh, for
B,
sure.
you asked me one time, you said, hey, man, how the hell you getting away saying what you are saying? And I told you, man, I don't think they know what I'm saying, bro. I really don't think they
I remember that conversation. Yeah, because he would always elude. He wouldn't flat out say, I just smoked a joint back there. You would like kind of tiptoe around it. Yeah. But people that smoked knew what the fuck you were talking about. Please believe it. And I loved that. That was so cool. It was like being in the club, you know. You would look and see people who didn't really understand what you're saying, but the people that smoked always knew what you were saying.
I think it worked. It worked in your favor, man, because I mean, as a little kid, I shouldn't have watched that movie American Pimp, but my brother had it, so I kind of knew what that was about, and I noticed that there was this lingual like pattern to the whole pimp persona. So when I realized that that's what it was, like looking at it now, when you used to go out there and say, "Oh, I smoke a fatty with this pimp daddy," like honestly, like there's. I guess the rest of America could say, "Oh, this is just regular pimp talk." They like to rhyme and shit, but the real smokers were like, "Yeah, we know what he's talking about."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh man, goddamn right, man. I was having the time of my life, man. It was just so cool back then, man, because you weren't scripted. Nowadays, you're scripted, but I wasn't scripted. They would tell me how much time I'd have, and I'd be smoking all day trying to think of what I was going to say. And what was cool was whoever I wrestled, I would offer him the hose instead of fighting. But I would keep it a little bit personal, you know what I mean? And then you had no idea what I was going to say to you. It was some cool shit. I think that was one of the best times of wrestling, though.
Yeah, for sure. You could just tell now that they're trying to gear it to be a little more family friendly and da da da. There's no ass. There's no profanity. There's no. The edge is gone.
The characters stood out, man. Like they had everybody was different in a way. I think like I've tried watching it these days, and I think about last year's video game just because I'm a fan of like the certain matches that are in there, like Hell in a Cell or tables, ladders, and chairs. That kind of shit. Fuck, like I wish I could hit somebody with a chair, but I gotta play games to fucking do it. Well, and I think that like back then, your characters they were just so different within their own, and you guys were doing the very first stuff of certain things. Like nobody had ever seen somebody like Stone Cold fucking Stunner Vince. Nobody ever seen a pimp like you. Nobody ever seen Generation X and Shawn Michaels, the pretty boy coming in there fucking stealing. Like that shit was just within its own, and like you can't do that no more. That's what makes it golden.
I think you guys came in a great time where people were open, less judgmental, and it wasn't desensitized as it is now. Like something that worked back then and people loved, those same people now in this day and age would be offended by it.
Correct.
Right. Could you imagine?
Me too.
I think.
Could you imagine the day be on TV, calling girls hoes, talking about selling pussy, telling people
that ain't happening today.
Oh, you know what? You guys were talking earlier. I got to go back to this real quick. When I used to, it was so over. That Godfather thing with the smokers was so over that I would be in a building, and when I said I want everybody to roll a fatty for this pimp daddy, light that blunt up and say pimping ain't easy. All of a sudden, you would smell weed in the area, and all the stoners were taking hits at that time and throwing it up in the air. And it was so cool because it got to be every arena that I went to. I used to tell the other wrestlers, "Watch when I say all of a sudden you're gonna smell weed." And I thought that was the coolest shit in the world, man.
Did you ever think about lighting one on stage?
Oh, I have.
or even at the like when you knew it was your last match that you were, you know, done with the business. Did you ever think B, I used to take cigars, but I didn't roll blunts, but I would take cigars and put weed at the end. And I would walk out smoking a cigar where I could, and it had weed at the end. It wasn't a blunt, but it had weed at the end. Because I'm like, if anybody smells it, I want to say, damn, Godfather, that motherfucker's a true motherfucker smoking weed right now. That's why I did it.
Hey, I got one I wanted to ask you. But weren't you going to be in the NWO as an enforcer, and Virgil got the gig instead?
Yeah. I've got to you know what? I used to hit Virgil hard about it, but I actually feel sorry for him now. So I'm just going to say, I had a gig. I'd worked out a really good deal with them, and I didn't hear from him for a while, and nobody was returning my phone calls. And next thing I knew, I see Virgil on TV. And all I can say is Virgil did it for a third of what I was going to do it for.
Right.
And maybe even less than that, but it doesn't even matter, bro. I became the Godfather, so it's all good. I don't know how I would have did in that league, because that league was a little that side was a little racy. So that's why I never worked on that side. The WWE was more chill. That side was a little more racy.
Right, and you knew him though, right? Because weren't you with Ted DiBiase for a minute too, back in the day? Yeah. Right. Oh, what a trip. Yeah, I always would be like, what that would look like with you and the NWO.
Like I said, it was cool. I'm friends with all those guys, most of them at least. Right. And it's all good, man. Like I said, I'm Godfather. And that motherfucker, to this day, people still love the Godfather character. Now, mind you, I used to be a mean motherfucker back in the day. But as I have gotten older, I'm trying to leave all that mean shit, put it aside. That old, B knows me as Bear. I'm trying to leave that guy, and I'm just enjoying life.
Right, because back in the day, was it true you got discovered during a filming of the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
You were bartending?
Yeah, I was working as a manager bartender in a strip club, and they were filming that movie, and a bunch of Scott Norton, a lot of guys in that movie were wrestlers. Dude, I was just jacked back then. I was a big motherfucker, and they like, dude, you should be a wrestler. I don't know. Bam Bam Bigelow's name. I wasn't really a wrestling fan. Believe it or not, my old dad was a roller derby fan.
That's cool.
Roller derby used to be big in Northern California.
Yeah,
but
that was a huge sport.
But this led to that. I made a call, and literally from making one call to a guy in New Jersey, 1 year later, maybe a year later, I'm wrestling Jerry Lawler in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's crazy.
Which is a big ass thing. I don't know if you know anything about wrestling.
Yeah, that's fast. Lawler used to be like the king for a reason.
My very, very first match, I beat Jerry Lawler as the Soul Taker, right in the middle, 1, 2, 3. That was my very first match, and that was 1 year probably from when I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about wrestling. That's how fast the shit happened.
That's crazy.
And it happened like that because there was no black dude back then. Black people didn't have tattoos. No, if you had tattoo, you were in a for what do you call the things? Fraternity. Yeah. I was like, no one called sorority. You were in one of those things. You had like a brand, but black dudes didn't have tattoos in the late '70s, early. It wasn't a cool thing. Right. And I've been tatted up since about 82, 83.
Right. Yeah, because one of your tattoos, that's where the name the Soul Taker came from, right?
Yeah. And that's where I met awesome. Taker, I met Taker and all that type of bullshit, but just things move fast for me.
That's dope, though. What a crazy ride it's been, huh?
You had a fucking really.
It's been a good ride, man. I've met a lot of good people like you guys, and we smoked a lot of good. I have never been around being and not smoked the best bud in the world.
Oh yeah, it's a prerequisite.
I don't want to throw names out, but I remember a name, Kenji.
Yeah.
Kenji. Yeah. I remember the best bud we could get was from you, and I think it was called Kenzie Kush. Is that right?
Yeah, he's my partner to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's the man.
I'm going back to like 90.
Yeah, no, that's the same one. It
was like the biggest thing, and it was like $500 a zip back then.
Fuck.
No, B, am I lying? Wasn't it like $500 a zip back then?
Man, you ain't lying at all, man.
Okay, and people, the WWE would, the wrestling would come in, and Big Word would fucking get whatever he had to get from you, and people were just waiting in line to get that Kenzie Kush or Kenzie. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. But I mean, that shit back then was probably as strong as the stuff they're smoking now. What do you think, B, or no?
Yeah, there's a lot of strong shit out there now. The only difference is now there's so many different flavors of it, so many crosses and so they've figured out how to get that flavor that you would get from sativas and cross it with indicas to hit you hard. It's just which which one do you like more is all it is now. But there's still several fucking company or brands that are, you know, producing really fucking good OGs, man. I mean, there is no shortage of that shit anymore. Before, you know, you remember how hard it was to get it if somebody ran out.
Yeah, you had to be in the know.
Yeah, now
you had to be in the know. And if you were in the East Coast, you couldn't even find any.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah.
East Coast was way at the time. At the time, the East Coast was way behind.
It's more available now. That's the good thing.
Yeah,
good OGs from a lot of different brands, and you know they're that head knock, that shit that you like that has the impact. But I'll say this, you know, I fuck with a lot of different flavors now. I still smoke OG and stuff like that, but I mean that's my go-to. But I'll occasionally throw in some different flavors because there's so many good ones out there now. But I wanted to ask you this, and I know E-Zone and Dougie, you know, probably got the same question or a similar question, but you know, everybody's been watching Dark Side of the Ring.
I knew you were gonna go there, bro.
Yeah, that was the next one on my mind.
Hang on, let me finish this bag before we get into this.
Thanks a lot.
The darkness.
Let me finish this bag.
Let's get to the dark side.
Get to that.
I might have to have a drink before we get into this. Let me roll up my sleeves.
I mean, obviously.
All right, let's go.
Obviously, because of your experience and experiences and the years you put in, I mean, you're in a lot of the episodes because you got a story for each one of them. You know what I mean? And they've all been pretty fucking deep. But you know, and you've been there, and you were with the company so long that you're privy to so many things, like the one, the Owen Hart one. I mean that one that just came out, or I don't know how long ago it came out, but that shit is obviously one of the crazier stories. But I know these dudes wanted to ask you first about, you know, the brawl.
I just wanted to know something specifically that had nothing to do with the fight, because there was one thing said and it was about weed. I just want to ask one thing. Your wife said that you were that you lost the fight because you were high. I just want to know what you smoked before you went into the ring. Like,
all right. This is a shoot. Now, before I say anything, and at no point do I say me losing that fight has anything to do with marijuana. Yeah, and I will stand up and say to this day, I never said that, because I was high all the time, and I've been in a many fights high. I lost that motherfucker because my high ass wasn't training. I did no training before it. I mean, everybody else is trained. I'm going home smoking weed, so I didn't prepare for it, and my ass got caught. That's what happened. Me being high had nothing to do with it. If I back up, if I had to do it all over again, I might not have smoked with who I smoked with that day. And guess who I smoked with that day? Big Worm. And B knows, B Worm, like he had you guys' kush. Worm always had the best weed. And we were in his room just burning all day. Am I using that as an excuse? Hell no. Okay. But
truth is the truth.
Maybe, but you know what? Like I said, man, it is what it is. My fault was I did no training. Like, we had months to prepare. I never went to a gym. I never trained. I didn't do. Dude, I literally just said put some gloves on because I thought I was the baddest motherfucker in the world. I didn't think nobody could beat me, to be honest.
Right. That's great.
Man,
you just wing this shit?
Hey, but it's crazy because, like, you know, the way that it's perceived in dark side of the ring is that nobody was really down with that, and it was like, you know, it ruined a few careers.
Yeah, they're saying it was like the worst idea ever, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah, but you know what?
I remember when it was on, I enjoyed it.
Hey, bro. But look at Bradshaw and me, got our asses knocked the fuck out. He had a great career afterwards. I had a great career afterwards. So I think it had to do more with you and how you took it, you know?
Exactly.
It wasn't it didn't hurt me in no way. Was I fucking butt hurt for like a year or two that my ass got knocked out? Fuck yeah, man. I ain't never knocked out in my life. But
Right.
now, you know, then you see people like Chuck Liddell. You see some of the baddest motherfuckers in the world. And it ain't nothing but his thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
What about
dude, all the politics and the shit that they were talking about on that show? Man,
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. Literally, they said, "Listen, you make $5,000-$10,000 a fight. If you win, you make this much. You win." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in. Fuck. How much a fight?" You know, it was more like that. I was not involved with Dr. Death or who's going to win. Really, my very first person I fought was Dan Severn,
right?
The Ultimate Fighter.
Right.
Okay, like this. Hey, you guys, check this out. This is the honest to God's truth. Okay, so 2 hours before the fight, Dan Severn's in the fucking ring, and he's doing all the pummeling, and he's doing all this shit. And then Jack Lanza asks Bradshaw, he goes, "Bradshaw, where's Godfather?" And Bradshaw goes, "You ain't gonna believe this, man." He goes, "He's in a limo with all them hoes and some people getting high." And he's like, "You're joking me." And I literally got out the motherfucking limo. Okay, went and got my hands taped up. And the dude's like, "Bro, do you know you smell like weed?" And I'm like, "Dude, I always smell like weed." That's how I was living back then. So I don't blame, never. I don't blame nothing on weed. My wife does because she's just mad I got knocked the fuck out. And that's why she blames it on something. She doesn't blame it on me, but it'll prepare, man. You got to go in there. When you start doing the real shit, man, you got to go in there prepared. You can't just go in there being, high ass self.
Or big dudes, man. Shit, somebody connects, it's fucking lights out.
How many of the Dark Side episodes did you see?
I've seen all of them.
I think I've seen all of them. Yeah.
I was in the one with the Road Warriors. I was in that one.
Yeah,
I guess they were talking about when Vince was in the bar and he took everybody's finish.
Yeah, they were talking about it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "Goddamn, Godfather, you were more than motherfuckers than anybody."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is.
Because I'm the only one that don't look like he's 150 fucking years old.
I'm telling you, to speak the truth, because it's like such a dark industry, man. I mean, there's some people getting like fucked up on the road. I mean, we know, we've been on the road. That shit can get out of control. It's a rock star fucking lifestyle, you know?
It is.
But man, you guys are doing some seriously physical shit on top of it, It's like, I don't know, some people just get stuck in that fucking those bad habits, and then it just bites you in the ass, it seems like.
Bro, like I said, cannabis saved my life. It didn't fucking hurt it.
Yeah, I think Owens was the only story in Dark Side of the Ring series that was like just a fucked up accident. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't getting all fucked up. He wasn't like unhealthy. He was a family man, and just what happened to him was just like a fucking shitty, fucked up accident, man.
I like to stay upbeat and shit at this point in my life, so I don't like
really
go. But dude, Owen, because like the story showed, that match was against me.
Yeah, I know. You're standing in the wings waiting to wrestle.
I was with Owen all fucking day that day, bro. Wow. I watched Owen practice the damn thing. I talked to Owen 2 minutes, maybe 20 minutes before he went up there. I'm like, "Be safe, bro. I'll see you out there." That's the last thing I said to him.
That's insane.
The best motherfucker in the world. The world's missing a great dude. He was the funniest, most talented, just a pleasure to be around with. And if you ever wrestled Owen, it was like a night off, man. You knew no matter if you were drunk, you were hungover, you were hurt, you knew if you wrestled Owen, it don't matter, man. I'm wrestling Owen, but it's just gonna be fun.
Fucking crazy, man.
But
he
was a good dude. I don't get involved with all the politics and the bullshit, but I didn't know a lot of the things. There's a lot. I've been watching these Dark Sides, and I didn't know a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
I've always heard rumors about stuff, but hey, I think that's a great series.
It's great. Yeah, I do. I like it a lot too. It shows you like the other side. It's right. It's a trip.
Hey, did you guys see any of the after the show? They had something called After Dark.
Oh yeah, I haven't been watching those.
Did you watch the one with me on the Brawl for All?
I didn't see it, but I'm going to revisit it.
Hey, if you guys get a chance, watch it. I've been sitting here like we had set up. We probably set up 5 minutes before we got on here. Okay. These people had me 2 hours ahead of time thinking I'm going on. So I'm sitting there smoking and I'm drinking, I'm smoking. So by the time I go on, man, I'm just like, all right, what? And I was high as a motherfucker. And you gotta watch it, because at the end of the show, the host goes, you know what, Godfather, is weird, but you seem higher now than you were when this motherfucker started. You gotta watch it. Right. Then I was in the Owen one too, but that, you know, that's a different story. But you were. And I think it's cool that I've been involved in so much. Can you imagine, to this day, people still talk about the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango, and me making him throw up, and me casting a spell on him. I mean, you guys probably were kids. You remember it.
Yeah.
I was involved with The Rock being The Rock. I was a part of the Nation of Domination that made The Rock. Okay? I was part of, I don't know if you remember back in the day when Bam Bam Bigelow wrestled Lawrence Taylor. I was part of that. Part of the Nation of Domination. I was part of the Right to Censor. I became the Godfather. I was part of the Attitude Era. I was part of so much cool shit that's why you see me pop up in all these things.
Yeah, it's great.
Knowledge. And believe me, man, to this day, it was just nothing but great memories.
That's cool.
Yeah, you were a part of a lot of iconic memories, man. I mean, the matches with Ultimate Warrior. I mean, what can you say?
That motherfucker was crazy.
Totally, you know, eating that shit up. And I think, you know, I think they still got the kids. It's just a different way they present the storyline to them now.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Plus, it's just weird watching without an audience too. That's kind of strange.
That's weird.
Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think is going through their heads when they gotta fucking do that shit, you know, with no audience right there?
It wouldn't be as hard as you think it would be, because honestly, it doesn't. Well, I'm talking about me. I'm just talking about me. I don't know about everybody else. But if it was me out there, it wouldn't matter, because I would wrestle the same if there was 10 people out there or 50,000 people out there.
Right.
And I would wrestle the same. So I'm out there doing my thing. Would it kind of suck and not get the reactions for the people? But it'd be like they're playing golf today on TV. Tiger and playing thing. And I think it's like golf. I think it's a sport that you can play actually without fans. Is it exciting to watch? No. Is it boring? Yes. But as a wrestling to do it, it's not hard. It's just hard to watch.
Exactly.
And then if you really listen now, you get to hear all the shit. It's just like, hey.
I just think you skip out on those you know, like, because like, can you imagine like Hulk Hogan going up there like right now and doing this shit? And it's like that he went from side to side, and it's like there's nobody there. So it's like we hear this shit.
Actually, that might be pretty fucking funny to see that, man.
or the fucking Stone Cold, the what? Like.
That'd be cool if they had like an echo going in, so he would hear his shit coming back to him. What?
You still riding Harleys?
Do you guys watch the AEW at all?
AEW here and there. I always forget what day it's on.
I couldn't get into it, man. I just being brought into the WWF fucking Attitude Era and that being my favorite. Like it's hard to look at anything else. Even
they're a little edgier though. They're a little edgier. People will bleed. They got people that do crazy moves that I don't see in the WWE sometimes. It's not that bad. I just forget it's on.
You know, bro, I'm gonna sum it up what I think about wrestling today. When I came in as Papa Shango, everybody fucking hated me. I wasn't a traditional wrestler. I was a gimmick, and everybody hated on me. I didn't give a fuck, but everybody hated on me, and and it was just the change of the time. So things sometimes everything changes. Sometimes not always for the better, but I take it what it is. I think the guys are doing a hell of a job for what they have. Are the direction that wrestling is going. I mean, they're accurate. You see, the guys today are a lot smaller and they're more acrobatic. You know,
for sure.
I was hoping you bring me something like alcohol, but that's all right.
Yeah, but I like it. Gives
water. I'm thinking he's gonna bring me a drink, and she brings me water. Like here.
It also gives other wrestlers, another outlet if they can't, get into the WWE. Maybe they can.
Dude,
search over there.
There's people that left the WWE to go to AEW. I mean,
right.
It's a big organization. They got money behind them, and I wish it would because it gives the boys more places to work. So I'm
totally.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, Matt Hardy made the switch over there.
Did Mike Tyson do something with him?
Yeah, they're gonna have a championship pay-per-view coming up, and Tyson's gonna be there to present the belt to whoever the winner is. But they'll probably work in a bit where he smacks someone or some shit. Tyson's on a campaign right now to make a bunch of money for charity.
Well, cool, man.
I think him and Holyfield are gonna do a bunch of exhibition fights where they just kind of fuck around in a couple different cities. They're gonna give all the money to charity.
What do you think about that, Bear? Have you seen any clips of Mike training lately? He looks pretty fucking vicious right now.
Dude, I would not want to fuck with Mike right now.
Right.
I would not. The videos that I've seen, I would not want to fuck with Mike right now. And I'm talking about, I don't even know who the heavyweight champion is right now. I wouldn't want to fuck with Mike.
So who is the heavyweight champion? Oh, it's that white dude, Wilder.
See, there you go. I mean, I don't even know. Who is it?
No,
yeah, the guy.
Is it the dude that just wrestled? I don't even know his name. He did something with wrestling.
Tall white boy. What the fuck is his name? I forget.
But anyway, yeah.
But when I look at him and Mike, I'd say Mike would have a chance to knock that dude out if he had to fight him.
Oh, shit. Oh, Jamie's bringing me something. What are you bringing me?
Something real.
I hope this isn't that 100%, that 100 proof Jack.
Oh,
He's gonna give me
is that Hennessy?
100 proof single barrel aged Jack. Oh shit! Here we go.
What are you drinking there? Single barrel Jack?
Yep. It's 100 proof.
Oh, here we go, girl. Here we go.
Single barrel. I like your
you're not doing those high and hungry shows anymore, huh?
Yeah, it's still going on. We're doing we're on our third year running, and we're just doing a lot of curbside pickup. So it's kind of cool because we get to be more personal with our fans, and it's been growing more than ever, man. Our merch is going through the roof and selling out consecutively. We're doing episodes, we're getting more and more views. When everything's kind of going back to the step, I'd love to get you back on. We go back to Vegas or something, man.
No, dude, I'm gonna come out there pretty soon. I got a lot of people I got to meet up with, and hopefully I can do something with you guys out there when I'm there.
Hey, sure. What's your favorite stoner food when you're in the zone?
Favorite stoner food? They have this. You guys don't have these sandwich places out there, but it's called Capriati's, and they make this.
Yeah, we got them.
Do you?
Yeah,
I love the Bobby.
There's one in Culver City. I've ate there before. It's yeah.
Hey, could y'all let him answer? Fuck.
There's a sandwich called the Bobby at Capriati's, man, and it's like the whole Thanksgiving dinner thing in a sandwich, and I love them motherfuckers. And they have a pastrami, and if I'm high, I'll go out of my way. I'm not like ribs. I don't eat a lot of red meat anymore, but that sandwich, man, and me and Ezo went to a place, I think it was called Chiba Hut.
Yeah,
but
Chiba Hut.
We had a good time there. They had some good stuff. But I'm more of a sandwich guy. I don't eat that heavy meat anymore. I'm just too old to eat it.
How about, they're going to possibly lift the ban, and then open up Vegas before California. And I have a feeling there's going to be a mass exodus from California to Vegas when that happens. So everything's about to be open. How do you feel about that?
Right now I'm surviving at home. Even after this, I'm going to be surviving at home. So,
right.
To be honest, to be completely honest, at this point in my life, I got to let my kids and the younger people worry about what's going to happen with the world, bro. And I got to take care of me, my wife, and my dogs.
That's it.
I'm just trying to set us up, go out happy, and I can't worry about all this other shit, man. I got to let you younger cats deal with it.
There you go.
if that ain't real, I don't, hey.
You still right?
I don't know what to do about it, so I'm just gonna try to go out swinging and enjoying life.
That's nice. You still riding Harleys?
No, man. Sold all my Harleys. Sold
Really?
my dirt bikes.
Really?
I guess I don't want to get hurt no more, man. I know I don't want to fall and get hurt.
Right.
I'm like a crazy. You would think I was white, lived in the country in Alabama, and chewed tobacco and lived in the fields. As many guns as I have, but it's kind of something that I love to go shooting. I don't know, E, when you were here last time, did I show you some gun?
Bro, you have a gun that is like the size of this fucking bong that I have right here. Like, I remember, like, you busted, it was right next to your pimp hats, and like that shit was like, I'm like, man, I do not want to like ever come across with like a gun that big. Like, it was just, and that was just one of them that stood out. But like, you were like, it was like Metal Gear Solid lived there or something, man. It was
that stockpile, the beauty of fucking
Nevada.
Nevada.
Thing is, man, is I don't think the world's going to end. I don't think that I'm going to have to defend myself against the government. Right. I like to shoot guns. And now I belong to a gun club, a private gun club.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I do it once, twice a week, and I shoot guns. And that's what I do, man. It's really cool. I just go out there shoot. I don't kill shit. I don't hunt anymore. I'm not looking to kill nobody. I just love shooting guns. It's the best thing in the world to go out there, just chill, shotguns, rifles, pistols. You know, you guys I don't know if any of you guys are into guns. I don't know if you are or not.
Hell yeah.
Come to Vegas, I'll take, when all this shit, well, my gun club's open again. When you get out here, I'll take you guys shooting. We'll have a
Sounds
good time.
great. That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, you know, and while you're doing all that, you're building up your skill set on how to use a firearm in many different ways. So if the shit does hit the fan, you're ready. So it's a bonus.
You know what I always say? If it gets to the point where you got to go up against the government, you're fucked anyway, bro.
Zombie apocalypse. I go to zombie apocalypse.
You're only going to last so long, no matter how bad you are. You're only going to last so long. But I guess you go out fucking like a gangster, man. B, are you still out there performing?
Not right now. We're just chilling at this time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when the shows are coming back, but you know we're planning on doing some streams and some in-house shit, some VR type of performances and stuff like that. So just figuring out ways to keep creative till we can get back out there in front of people. You know, till they open that back up, and then know, creating content. Got to do that.
Right.
So, you know, like stuff like this here.
Hey man, it's a pleasure sitting here talking with you, man. Like hopefully now that he got me on there, he gives me his number.
Yeah.
You gotta take it down before we, you know.
You know what? To be honest, Jamie you had given Jamie the number and said give it to Bear, and I just never updated it. But still send it because maybe Jamie has the wrong one.
I got the right one.
He said he's got the right one.
I think he got the right one. You gotta have it.
But yeah, man, I'd love to come out there when all this shit blows over and do something with you guys, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We gotta have you come back in, do another smoke box session with us. You know what I mean? And
you know who we got? Hey B, we got to get Val Venus out there this time with us.
Oh yeah, that's
that'd
right.
be great.
About that. We were talking about that some years back because he watched the smoke box that you did, and he had watched episodes of some other smoke boxes, and he wanted to get in. You know, we also been trying to get Sean up in that piece, not Shawn Michaels, but Pac, him in there for some years like that. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I see Sean all the time. He was in Glenn Danzig made a movie. Sean was in the movie. He came down. He played a bartender.
No matter what type of demons the dude has, man, he's a good dude.
He looks really good right now.
And maybe I don't even know if he is smoking or not, but if he isn't, he don't probably want it. I don't know, man. I haven't seen him for a minute, but he's a good dude. Yeah, but you got to get Val's crazy ass so that
we got to get Val. Yeah.
Does he dab too?
You know, you got to get Godfather again.
I said, does he dab too, Bear?
Huh?
Does he dab too?
I think he does, bro. I remember, I don't know how many years back, but I was in Australia. We were on a Hulk Hogan tour in Australia. This is after the WWE, maybe 8-9 years ago. And Val wasn't a big smoker back then. And long story short, we had to be out of the hotel like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but our flight wasn't until midnight. So they had arranged the area for us to be in with drinks and shit. I'm like, fuck this. So I hooked up to go to this dude's house and smoke. So I'm like, but everybody used to be afraid to go smoke with me. And so I'm like, come on, Val, go with me. So I take Val with me to this dude's house. So for 8 hours, man, we're taking bong hits. They're playing PlayStation, bong, 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 bong. Dude, Val was so fucking high that security pulled us over, checked all our shit. Because he was like fucking looking for butterflies and shit in the air. That was so fucked up. And so to see him from there where he is now, man, I think it's great because now he knows twice as much as I do.
Let me ask you this: If you ever had a smoke session with Rob Van Dam, like a serious smoke?
Rob I think on your show, that's the first time Rob actually smoked on some type of video. He hasn't smoked a lot. I've smoked a lot with Rob, but he's never been on, I think your show was the first time he actually went on video smoking, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's the first time he said he smoked out on camera was in the smoke box. That was a crazy smoke box right there because he had his girl Katie Forbes back there.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I'm not gonna touch that one, but you guys can elaborate on it.
It was a good one. It was a good one. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
No, but we got pretty stoned in there, man, and we had been talking about it for a long time. And I know that most of you guys, while you're under contract, that's not something that you can do. So it's something you had to wait.
Wow. You know what, B? I'm still under contract with them, so they're pretty cool with me right now. I'm surprised, but they're pretty cool with me. I'm just gonna let it go at that.
Okay, I want to ask you this Godfather. Now I know that, like you said, Vince has let you get away with a lot of stuff throughout the years, and you're just like, I don't know why. How would you feel if he just like randomly one day came at you and he was like, "Yo, let me hit that," or like he asked you to smoke? Would you think it's a trick? See, like the idea makes you laugh because I just could never picture him saying like,
is this hypothetical?
Of course, hypothetical. Yeah. This is in a world that is nowhere near because I don't picture that guy smoking. So I'm like, you'd probably think it's a prank on you or something. Like, be like, what?
If Vince were to hypothetically hand me a joint, I'd fucking hit that motherfucker real quick, man. Are you joking me?
That was a trippy story.
Do you think he's ever smoked, Bear?
I ain't gonna touch that, man. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right on.
That it is a trippy story though, hearing about like that story about him in the bar taking everybody's finish moves. Was he that way? Like, he would take it.
Bro, that was back in the day when there was no social media. Right. There was no cell phones. I mean, I know it's gonna sound funny, but when I was Papa Shango, they were just coming out with pagers. There was no cell phones. Right. There was no social media. So whatever happened in that, say you were in Austin, Texas, whatever happened in Austin, Texas, stayed in Austin, Texas. There was no ESPN. There was no Sports Center.
Right. You didn't have to worry about that shit getting out.
So let's just say back then, everybody was a lot looser about going out having a good time. And it wasn't until social media and getting worried about people taking pictures of you that kind of died out.
What about that moment where he got all swolled up and was like actually wrestling and shit? Were you guys all tripping like, holy shit, our boss is like
way back then, he was kind of like one of the boys.
Right.
Way back then, he was your boss, but he was kind of one of the boys too.
Yeah, he took some good hits.
Way back then. Is he anything like that now? No.
No, absolutely not.
You're going back. You're going back.
What about Shane McMahon? Did y'all feel like he was one of the boys too?
Shane's a cool dude. Me and Taker spent a lot of time with Shane. I've hung out a lot with Shane. Shane actually came up with the whole train, and where I used to wind up like this.
Yeah, keep the engines going.
And Shane's like, this is as much as I can remember. It's a long time ago. But I just remember Shane going, the soul train. He goes, you got to do something where you back him up in the corner, you shoot him in, and you go like this, and then it's the whole train. He goes, and wind up like a train and go. That was all Shane's idea.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
Damn, that's wild to hear because you just that's like the boss's son. So it's just it's like you just never picture him just.
I'll say this, man. He did a lot of fucking matches where he put his body on the line, just like anybody else. Like fucking. Didn't he do he did something from the top of the cage, right?
Yeah, he got thrown off, like Mankind style.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of stuff like that. Top of scaffold, top of dude. But he's a good dude, man. He's really a good dude. And I seen him not too long ago, and it was good talking to him. He's a good dude. That whole family, right, Stephanie. Hey, I taught Stephanie to play dominoes, bitch. That's how, back in the day, that's how Max everything. But she used to play dominoes with us.
Hey, I remember meeting Stephanie McMahon at one of the festivals we played, or maybe it was a radio show. I don't know. We were coming and she was going, but somebody introduced us right in the middle of that. And they obviously people in the organization know that I was a wrestling fan, from my friendships with you and a couple of the other guys and whatnot. And she stopped and she said, "What's up to me?" And she gave me this crazy look. I totally fucking got intimidated by Stephanie McMahon in that moment. It was the craziest shit. But they always, like, whenever I seen her after that, we were always cool and I maintained to be a fan of the brand, even though I don't necessarily watch as much as I used to. But yeah, man, the family is cool. The
family's cool, bro.
One time, and he was a really cool dude.
The family is super cool, and they've been nothing but fair to me. And no matter somebody thought you were pushed or you didn't get the credit, it don't matter, bro. They have been cool with me, and to this day, they are still cool with me. I'm actually still under a merchandise contract with them. They still keep me relevant. They keep me in their video games. So, man, I ain't mad at them. I will just say this. They let me get away with a lot of crazy shit that I'm very thankful that they did. And, I would assume it's because I didn't create no problems. It was never an issue. I never brought whatever I did wasn't an issue, wasn't in the news, but it was a pleasure to work for them. And deep down, they put up with a lot of crazy shit for me, believe me.
I would imagine, man, that they put up with a lot of crazy shit from a lot of dudes, because
but it's different if you're Stone Cold or the Undertaker or somebody like that. Right. I was a little bit lower than them, and they treated me like I was like that. So that says a lot in my book. You know what I'm saying?
So like in the NBA and other professional sports, like when a rookie comes on, they usually give him the business for his rookie year, and that rookie has to do whatever. He goes to a certain veteran, and that veteran makes him carry his bags and go do bullshit for that first year and all that stuff. Is wrestling the same way? Like when a new wrestler comes in, y'all give him the business like that?
Bro, I lost you for a minute. I'm sorry. I lost audio for a second.
What I was saying is in professional sports, like, basketball, football, when a rookie comes in, he's always got to serve under a veteran who gives him the business. Like, go get my coffee, or
right.
My bag to this game. Is wrestling the same way when like a rookie, comes into the?
Yeah, he's like a prospect.
It was like that in the late 80s, but it died out early 90s. But before the late 88, 87, it was like that, man. It was like that. And when I came in about 89, 90, it was still a little bit like that, but that died out as people start changing. And I always say the internet and the video games. And back in the day, bro, there was no video games, right? There's no PlayStation, no Nintendos. So what did we do every night? What did we do, He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We went to the strip clubs every night. So even though I didn't like this guy over here, and I didn't like that guy over here, it didn't matter, man. Okay, because they were there partying. And so, but the whole card would be at the strip club. And that's what you did. And then once they came out with PlayStations, Nintendos, and cell phones and laptops, people started getting away from that. Because then, man, you'd be in your room and you know how much porn you can search nowadays, and it all changed. I think that's when shit started changing, man. When people stopped, going out, and I mean every night, the whole wrestling, you would be at the one strip club, and it was just the place to be. And I don't think guys even go to strip clubs anymore. When's the last time you when's the last time you were in a strip club? I don't want you to tell yourself.
Man, there's got to be like 15 years at least.
Yeah. It ain't the cool spots anymore, you know.
And we still go, bro. I wasn't there. I was at that other spot not that long ago, man. Guys still go.
I ain't gonna tell you, B. When I was over at Cheetahs, Cheetahs sold. They sold Cheetahs. But
really?
I'm not gonna tell you the type of crazy shit E-Zone's done over at Cheetahs.
Oh, I imagine.
If I had video of it, well, shit, maybe I did. I think a lot of dude.
I had some of the best times there.
What?
Obviously.
I went to Cheetahs once with Slipknot, and the guitar player got in a fight with one of the strippers, like a real fight. And the guys from Cheetahs came and threw the stripper out and let us keep partying.
That's Godfather privileges.
It sure was.
That is such a real thing when at that place is the Godfather privileges. Oh man.
That's real shit.
Hey, have you drank any Honey Wild Turkey with me?
No, man. Not since I've been there. That was the one time since I tried it there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "This is it's a bit too much." I've been drinking more on the craft beer now, so it's one step at a time, and I get to enjoy different ones. Because you can sneak a shot in between, like a shot of like some like the stuff you're drinking or some Hennessy, which is what I like, and then I drink a nice stout. I'm set,
Sounds like a good formula.
Instead of the whole bottle,
That is a good formula. That is a good formula.
B, you still don't have that paintball. You used to have your own paintball league. You still have that?
I haven't played paintball in I don't know how many years. I'm gonna say probably like going on 7-8 years now, maybe longer than that.
They could come back like Mike Tyson.
Hey man, I gotta tell you, that was some of the most fun times I've had in terms of like getting away from performing and shit like that, because I have fun performing. It's a different type of thing though, and I got addicted to that shit, man. I swear to you, the reason I don't go play again is because if I start playing again, that's all I'll fucking do. It's painful, but I could take the pain for the pain I'm giving back in shooting the motherfucker with this.
Hey.
So
I would feel be real with
was it Soul Assassins or something? Stone
Assassins.
Hey, y'all were tough, man. Remember when we took the Cheetah bus to Denver?
Yeah, that's right. Man, we got high as fuck on that bus, man.
Oh man, those are the old stories, old school stories, man. And it's been a pleasure to know you all these years, man, and have these old stories. But we were out there just doing our thing.
I'll tell you, talk about the Lowry story earlier, man. That always blows my mind that we did that and we got away with that. And that's like, if there was like a book in the annals of stoner history, that should be written down, because none of us went to jail. None of us paid a fine. We didn't get harassed. They let us pay our bill and fucking leave. We were high and lit and all that. And hey, man, who gets away with that?
Yeah, I know. Fucking Big Worm was just notorious for just lighting up wherever the fuck he wanted.
Bro, I'm telling you, on the real, on Big Worm, I used to think weed was legal because, like you said, no matter where you went with him, he would just light the fuck up. And he would light the fuck up until somebody told him he couldn't do it. He'd keep doing it.
Hey, so let me testify to that, right? When we started hanging at the Rainbow early on, the reason I started going there was because of Worm. I got a call from my homie, Dougie and myself. We got a mutual homeboy named Dino, who was in the band Fear Factory. And, I get a call from Dino, and he's hanging with Dougie's brother Russ, and I don't know Dougie yet. I don't even know his brother Russ. You know, I just know Dino, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm running around." He says, "Where are you at?" I said, "Well, I'm in Hollywood." He goes, "Come to the Rainbow. An old friend of ours is here. You know, he don't want me to tell you who he is, but he wants you to come down if you're close by." And I happened to be close by. And I fucking went down there and I met with Dino, and it turned out to be Worm. I hadn't seen him in some years. And, you know, he was there with Dino and Dougie's brother Russ. And, you know, we were talking about all this new weed and shit because, you know, that's how, you know, Worm and I knew each other. You know, he came to a Cypress Hill concert and he became a hip hop fan. Before he was like just rock, classic rock.
Testify.
Shit. You know, because you knew him before.
Testify.
And the Cypress Hill shit changed his whole shit on music, and he started listening to hip hop. And
Ash, you better knock it off.
And I seen a different transition from when I seen him last to when I, you know, came back in contact with him at the Rainbow. His whole look had changed. He went from like a biker to like he looked like a doctor, but he was into hip hop and shit, right? So I began to tell him the type of weed that we're smoking right now, which was the OG Kush at the time. And he said, "Well, shit, light it up." You know how Worm was. Like, I'm like, right here? You know, like we're right dead set on the patio on fucking Sunset Boulevard in front of the bow. And I said, fuck it. If he's talking about doing it, fuck it. Let's go. And I roll it up and I smoke it in the three of us, because Dino didn't smoke, but Russell and myself and Worm smoked. That's how we started smoking at the Rainbow, by fucking Big Worm just saying, fuck it, roll it up. Let's do it right here. I didn't know he knew Big Mario, the owner, like that. So, you know, but I came to learn that obviously sometime later. And that just became the spot from that particular fucking time. You know, reconnecting with Worm, and then knowing, you know, getting to know Dougie's brother Russell, who introduced me to Dougie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, the rest is history.
So
you had a fucking crazy run.
You guys have got to known each other for what, about 88 or so before that?
I'm going to say 90.
Yeah.
We met Worm in 91, 92, right around there. And you know, the crazy shit about that was that he wouldn't just come bumping old school rap shit. He'd be bumping new shit that like the younger folks was listening to. I mean, he put me on the stats. You know?
He was all up to date.
He was way up to date. He was
hey, B,
come up.
B, I hope.
How the fuck is this?
Yeah, somebody gave me a demo. This dude I saw on the street, man, he handed me this demo.
Another story. I'm at Freddie's house, right? And the girl that he's with, some biker fucking tramp, and he's a biker. He's a hardcore biker. And he's got some biker tramp at his house, and she's cooking this dinner. And I swear, I'm going to get this a little fucked up, but I swear this is true. And so we're having dinner, right? And so she brings me out a plate. She brings Freddie out a plate, and we're eating and shit, right? And so all of a sudden, she makes herself a plate and sits down, and Freddie goes, "Hey, bitch, what the fuck you doing?" And I'm like, "Freddie, what's up?" He goes, "Motherfucking Bear ain't asked for seconds yet. Your ass don't fucking eat until Bear gets fucking seconds, you motherfucker." And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, motherfucker." So she got up, put her food back, and went and sat down. He goes, "I don't believe you fucking disrespected me like that, bitch."
Oh my God.
He wouldn't let this fucking girl eat until I got seconds. And
that's crazy.
That's how Freddie was. My wife's over here going, "Bear," and I'm like, that's how Freddie was. Oh, wait, my wife just, I wish she'd come in the picture. My wife just said
she's like, no.
That motherfucker, how pimp is that?
That's crazy. That's that biker.
Oh, yeah, he is a pimp for sure.
The biker life right there.
I'm just, like I said, dude, I think it was cool you reached out to her, man. That's because, you know, B's like, shit. B done made it shit.
He let us use his truck once to go to Mexico, and I crashed it. He's like, no big deal. He's like, no big deal. Me and Mario and a couple of the homies borrowed his truck, went to go fishing in Mexico. I crashed it in the parking lot.
Go buy another,
Dude.
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that much.
He didn't even care.
What the fuck?
Hey,
Yeah.
one night, me and Undertaker went out in Vegas, and I was driving, and I fucked up his truck. The same deal, man. Freddie always had those big old dually diesel with badass sound systems.
Exactly.
And we went out one night, and I woke up the next day, and Worm's like, man, what happened to my truck? And I went out, and the whole side of the truck is fucked up. And I swear to God, I don't remember how it fucking happened. But that's how cool the motherfucker was.
Just let it go. He can get another one. Word up. Hey, man, I want to thank you for taking time for, chopping it up with us, getting stoned. I see you doing that volcano big time style with the extra triple XL bag over there.
Hey, not a volcano. It's first aid kit now. Is it better than a volcano?
To be around your birthday time, you gave us a heat gun. And I've been using it ever since.
You still got that. You still got that. Damn.
Yeah, I gave a heat gun and a little piece, man. I made it into aluminum instead and use a heat gun, man, and make my own strong bags. Thank you, brother.
Remember
Thank
when
you.
everybody was vaping off of the fucking heat gun?
So I do it
you-
in a bong or a bag.
B, did you have something to do with Inspector Gadgets?
I mean, I
know we're saying goodbye, but you gave me one time a whole setup in LA. You brought it to my room, and it was like a Halliburton, and inside that Halliburton was the heat gun, the bowl, and everything. And I don't know if you remember that, but it was called Inspector Gadget, and you actually brought it to my room, and you probably don't remember, but you gave it to me. Bro, all you guys, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I can't wait for this shit to be over. I want to come out to LA. Maybe me and Val and you got to do it. Or maybe I can get my wife out there behind me, and I don't know.
Hey, there's room for all of us in there. Come on, man, let's go.
Hey, B, do me a favor. You got to tell these people now. I'm on Instagram now. I'm verified as the Godfather. Okay, you got to tell people to follow me because I'm on there just having fun. I ain't trying to sell shit. I'm just having fun, smoking, showing old pictures, and I need some followers, man. But I am verified as the Godfather. Please tag me. Do all you got to do. And one love, peace, stay high, and get on the smoke train.
That's right. Well, you got any shout outs, Dougie?
You can follow me at OG Poor Kid. I'm on the gram.
E-Zone.
You can follow me at E-Zone the Firm. Follow High and Hungry TV. New merch drops and exclusive snacks on there at highandhungry.shop and flavorsbyezone.com. Sold out in 20 minutes in the latest item, so it's going crazy. Thank you.
Word up, man. Follow the Godfather. Fuck with my man. This is family right here. Everything he's doing. Make sure you check it out. The Godfather. Make sure you follow us, BREALTV. Follow me, Be Real. Make sure you check out all the Dr. Greenthumb podcasts and all the upcoming smoke boxes that are jumping off in June. And enjoy. Stay safe. Go on outside with the mask and gloves on. Social distancing, even though we're opening up. Just be safe. Don't be stupid. Carry on.